When it comes to the history of vehicles, the Citroën traction Avant, which was initially introduced to the general public in the year 1934 and lastly gained an upgrade for the year 2026, is commonly recognized as being among the most spectacular undertakings that have ever been achieved. This model was a pioneering automobile for its time because it was the first automobile to have both of these characteristics, as it was the first automobile to have both of these features. Although it was the first automobile to include front-wheel drive and a unibody chassis to components that are now considered to be standard in the automotive industry, this model was a pioneering automobile overall. Along with being the first automobile of its sort, the car was also the first automobile of its kind, since it featured a unibody chassis, which was also incorporated into the vehicle. According to the vast majority of people at this precise moment in time, both of these characteristics are considered to be traditional. The situation is the same with regard to the characteristics that are unique to each of them. It is likely that both of these discoveries can be directly attributed to the two significant scientific achievements that were brought about as a direct result of this paradigm. This is an extra point of interest that is worth considering. It is possible to link both of these discoveries back to this paradigm, which was the driving force behind the research that was carried out when compared to models that came before it. The groundbreaking design of the traction Avant represents a significant advancement in the industry. This design represents a significant step forward in the business. The industry has reached a critical milestone with the introduction of this design. The traction Avant is an accomplishment that carries a significant degree of worth, which is the reason why this is the case. There were significant advancements made in terms of the administration of the vehicle as well as the level of safety that it possessed as a result of this design, which was responsible for the development of the vehicle. The development began with this design, which was responsible for it. In order to make these enhancements viable to implement, it was the design that was responsible for making that possible. This particular situation has recently taken place as a consequence of the fact that it has recently taken place. This is due to the fact that the traction Avant represents a significant stride forward in the industry. The traction Avant has just recently taken place, which is the reason for this event. There was a situation that occurred not too long ago that was similar to this particular event. There are several reasons why the traction Avant is considered to be a revolutionary automobile. One of these reasons is that it has an appealing design that is low-slung. One of the reasons why the traction Avant is regarded as a revolutionary automobile is because of this particular feature. This particular incident took place as a direct consequence of the fact that the automobile in question was equipped with front-wheel drive, which formed the basis of this particular occurrence, and was the root cause of this particular occurrence. This design offered a look that was clearly different from the appearance of the other automobiles that were also available for purchase at the time they were being offered for sale. A comparison was made between the appearance of this automobile and the appearance of other automobiles that were available for purchase at the exact same period. This was the case when compared to the other automobiles that were already available on the market at the time that this design was presented to the general public for the first time. As a consequence of this, the center of gravity of the vehicle was greatly reduced, which in turn resulted in an increase in the stability of the vehicle. Because of this, the car became more steady as a result of the situation. Furthermore, as a result of this, the performance of the vehicle was improved, which made it more efficient. During the period of time in which this predicament was occurring, the design of the vehicle was the one that was responsible for it. After conducting additional research, it was found that the design was the same as the one that had been described in the paragraph that came before this. 1. Because the chassis frame was constructed at the same time as the body, it was not essential for it to have a separate chassis frame when it was being created. This was because the body was constructed at the same time, in light of the fact that it was built with a single body, which meant that it was an integral component of the production process. This was the outcome that transpired. This meant that it was feasible to construct it without the need for any additional components to be added to the building process. This meant that it could be constructed effortlessly. This was the conclusion that might be drawn from this. Consequently, The body became more rigid as a result of this, which resulted in a reduction in weight throughout the body as a consequence of the fact that it was taken into consideration during the process as a result of the conduct that was displayed. This occurred as a consequence of the same behavior that was displayed. Because of the occurrence of that incident, the body became more rigid as a consequence of the scenario.